Today we're making the Kung Pao Shrimps, which in Chinese will be pronounced as Gōng Bao Xiaren. It is by far the most beloved Chinese recipe worldwide, and personally, it is my favorite one too. See, it all started off with Kung Pao chicken, and here we are with Kung Pao shrimp, Kung Pao tofu, Kung Pao squid, Kung Pao beef, Kung Pao broccoli, Kung Pao coffee. Oh, that wouldn't work. In terms of ingredients, this is what you should have ready at home. Our proteins, and in this case, it's some nice and peeled shrimps. The crunchy element, roasted peanuts, or as in this case, cashews. And an egg, because we're going to use only the white part for marinating the shrimps. Sichuan peppercorn and dried chilies for some extra heat. The basic Chinese aromatics you should all have at home whenever you're preparing Chinese food. With this recipe, you're going to master 3 main techniques that are going to enable you to make the perfect Kung Pao shrimps at home. First, how to marinate your proteins. Second, how to prepare the perfect Kung Pao sauce. And third, how to stir fry this dish. So let's get our hands dirty and let's make this Kung Pao shrimp. Play around with some ginger to get yourself into some good mood, peel it and slice it into thin slices. Same thing for the garlic. And guess what? Not the same thing for the green onions. That's because we're going to cut them into some bigger chunks, and don't ask me why. Actually, you can ask me why, and I have the answer. That is because with Kung Pao shrimps, you might want to eat the green onions as well, so with bigger chunks you can actually spot them in the plate and eat them, eventually. Some people cut it straight, some other love to cut them into diagonal parts, but do as you wish. What we need to do here is to cut some dried chilies into small pieces and get rid of the seeds. This is because the seeds tend to quickly get burned, and we don't want them to get burned. And also because the seeds are the main source of heat, and we want to control the heat here. Do you remember the Sichuan peppercorns? Well, you want to choose some really good ones here. And a very easy way to spot the good ones is really to see whether they're widely open and they do not have any internal black seed. See, these internal seeds are the main source of bitterness when it comes to Sichuan peppercorns, especially after the cooking, and you have to bear in mind the flowery, numbing aroma actually comes from the hulls. If you're lucky, get some fresh shrimps and peel them. If you're me, just get some frozen ones and do that. A small cut in the back, and I promise we didn't fast forward. So let's get to the first thing we want to learn here. How to marinate your proteins. So what we need here is an egg, only the white part, some white pepper, some Shaoxing cooking wine, and some sesame oil. And of course, 3 white powders. Salt, sugar, and cornstarch. Salt, sugar, white pepper, Shaoxing wine, and give it a good mix. Keep mixing towards one direction because that's gonna help out with the final shape of the shrimps. Next is to add some egg white because it's gonna help out with tenderizing the shrimps, as well as some cornstarch. Mix this well, and by now you should have created a nice coating for our shrimps. This is going to be helping the shrimps to stay tender during the cooking process while absorbing our Kung Pao sauce, the secret one, not a secret anymore. What a pity. Finish up with some sesame oil to avoid the shrimps from sticking with each other during the cooking process. The second thing we're gonna learn, as we promised you, is how to make the perfect Kung Pao sauce. There are really many ways for doing this, but I found this recipe to be very balanced as to obtain the so-called lychee flavor, which is one of the main selling points of this dish. The somehow sweet taste with some sour notes, all coupled by an explosion of aromatics. A lot of things going on in this recipe, I tell you. So take an empty bowl and start with some salt, some sugar, some white pepper, some cooking wine, some rice vinegar, and the best is the Chengdu or the Shanxi style vinegar, or maybe even a white rice vinegar. Light soy sauce and some starchy water, which we prepared using 1 part of cornstarch and 4 to 5 parts of water. We just need a tablespoon of this into our sauce. Before we get to the last part of our recipe, we need to pre-cook our shrimps. Here we've gone for the classic deep fry, but feel free to switch into a healthier version, like baking them, steaming them, air frying them. Make sure that whatever cooking process you choose, it's not going to overcook your shrimps, because we still need them tender for the final stir fry. So cook them half through. Scoop them out after cooking, set them aside, and remove all the excess oil or liquid that they might have. And here we are with the third technique we're going to master today. That's the final cooking. But first of all, remember to support us by subscribing to the channel and smashing the like button like you always do. First thing we do here is to add the aromatics, garlic, ginger into our preheated wok, which is a wok with some hot oil inside. Leave this in for a couple of minutes, a bit more, just to make sure all the aromas come out, and then go ahead with the dried chilies as well as Sichuan peppercorns. So here we want to control the heat to make sure that the chilies get scorched but not burnt, to give the dish a smoky sensation, an extra layer of taste within this recipe. But really be aware not to burn them, otherwise game over. Now it's time to place your shrimps inside, give them a good stir, and then go ahead with the super magic Kung Pao sauce. From the perimeter of the wok with high heat to make sure that the sauce is fully absorbed with our shrimps and aromatics. Time for the green onions and the cashews. A quick stir and you should have something like, wow, Kung Pao Shrimps. The real ones. Woo! One piece of cashew, or if you want peanuts, one slice of the garlic, of the ginger as well, of the onion, and then of course a piece of chili. That's the perfection. This is the real moment of truth. Let's just do this and let's call it a day. And of course, if you want to make this easier, just go for our Kung Pao sauce. And now that we have told you all the secrets we knew about Kung Pao shrimps, do not forget to visit our website on www.chinese.shop to discover our regional collections of sauces, condiments, things that are going to inspire your next food creation. Authentic things. Check out our playlist as well if you're interested in more Chinese recipes to spice up your lives, just as the Kung Pao sauce is spiced up our shrimps. Imagine shrimps from now on without a Kung Pao sauce. They want to be called shrimps. Maybe called seafood or like sea things. We also made a video on Kung Pao chicken, which you'll find somewhere around this screen somewhere. And it's going to be a good video as well, so check that out if you love Kung Pao, you love the flavor, you love the lychee, and if you want to know the secret of Kung Pao. Because in that video we also talked about some historical backgrounds of that recipe. So this is it for today. Love you all and enjoy the dish because it's a great dish. Make this at home, share this with family, friends, because it's just wow, you know? It was amazing, you know? See you.